Lexie Hull, I think, was having some back issues during practice today. Our other star on the team, not named Caitlin Clark, is Kelsey Mitchell. And she is joining Unrivaled, folks.
Indiana Fever fans, buckle up, because we've got drama brewing on two fronts, and it couldn't come at a more crucial time. First, Lexie Hull, one of Indiana's most reliable role players, just sent shockwaves through the fan base after a sudden injury scare heading into Game 3 against the Las Vegas Aces. Back tightness, precautionary sit-outs, questions about her availability. Yeah, the whispers are real, and Fever Nation is holding its breath.
And I was like, is this going to turn out badly? Am I about to have to watch Lexie Hull sit next to Red Kryptonite, Chloe Bibby, and Caitlin Clark, and Sophie Cunningham?
Can Indiana really afford to lose another soldier when the defending champs are looming? But that's not all. While Fever fans are sweating over Lexie's health, Kelsey Mitchell, arguably the second face of the franchise right behind Caitlin Clark, just made a decision that has the entire WNBA world buzzing. She's not packing her bags for China. She's not chasing that million-dollar payday overseas. Nope. Instead, Mitchell is joining Unrivaled, the controversial 3x3 league founded by Napheesa Collier and Brianna Stewart. A league some say is the WNBA's competitor, others say is its savior.
Two Fever players are heading to the blue skies and warm beaches this winter. Unrivaled, a 3x3 basketball league founded by WNBA players Napheesa Collier and Brianna Stewart, who also happen to be a part of the WNBA PA vice presidents, that also co-founded Unrivaled, a competitive team, a competitor of the WNBA.
So here we are. One player banged up at the worst possible moment, another making a move that could reshape how stars handle their off-seasons. Is this a genius decision by Mitchell to protect her body while still competing on U.S. soil? Or is she walking straight into a storm of controversy? This isn't just about basketball. It's about health, loyalty, money, and power. And the timing couldn't be any spicier.
I don't know if this moves any of y'all to end up wanting to watch Unrivaled more, less. I don't know. It doesn't do much for me. I can tell you that right now. It's still 3x3 basketball, which I feel like is one of the biggest flaws with this league.
So let's dive in, because Lexie Hull's back, Kelsey Mitchell's move, and the future of Unrivaled are about to collide in a way the WNBA can't ignore. And before we break it down, make sure to hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more unfiltered WNBA takes. Because this story, it's only getting started. Let's start with Lexie Hull, because her situation is exactly the kind of nightmare the Fever didn't need right now. Hull's not a headline grabber like Caitlin Clark or Kelsey Mitchell, but make no mistake, her hustle, defense, and ability to stretch the floor have made her a glue piece in Indiana's rotation. So when reports came out that she was dealing with back issues in practice, yeah, the alarm bells went off. Precautionary or not, back injuries don't just disappear overnight. And in the playoffs, every possession, every rotation, every healthy body matters.
In that exact order on the bench? Is she going to have to join the bench mob? No, it doesn't look that way anyway. But you always got to be concerned, hey, could this end up affecting minutes, yada, yada, yada. As expected, Demarius Dantes remains out for tomorrow's Game 3 against the Aces in concussion protocol. When did she get a concussion? I mean, we've known she's had a concussion.
Created by Napheesa Collier and Brianna Stewart, Unrivaled isn't just another off-season run. It's a statement, a direct alternative to overseas ball, a chance for players to stay in the U.S., keep control of their schedules, and maybe even shift the balance of power in women's hoops. But it's not without controversy. Some fans love the idea of a stateside off-season league. Others call it a distraction, or worse, a competitor that could pull focus away from the W. And when a star like Kelsey Mitchell, fresh off one of the best seasons of her career, signs up, that's not just news, that's a headline. The Fever are fighting for survival against the defending champs, and two of their key players are already shaping their futures beyond the W.
All up in the CBA negotiations. Just pointing that out, yeah. Announced that both Lexie Hull and Kelsey Mitchell will be playing in this league this winter. This will be Hull's second straight season playing in Unrivaled during the WNBA offseason. She won the Unrivaled championship with the Rose BC in the league's inaugural season in early 2025.
So let's break this down piece by piece, starting with Lexie Hull. Reports said she sat out of practice with back tightness. Now, if you've ever followed pro athletes, you know tightness is the kind of word coaches and trainers love to throw around to keep panic at bay. It sounds mild, harmless even, but the truth? Back injuries are tricky. They linger, they flare up at the worst times, and they don't just affect scoring. They impact every single movement on the court. Running through screens, boxing out, even just staying balanced on defense. It all becomes harder with a stiff back. And the fever? They can't afford to lose another body. Dejounte Carrington, Damiris Dantas. The injury list has already been brutal this year. Losing Hull, even at partial strength, is a setback against an Aces team that punishes every weakness.
As expected, Damiris Dantas remains out for tomorrow's Game 3 against the Aces in concussion protocol. When did she get a concussion? I mean, we've known she's had a concussion. She's missed games because she's had a concussion. What happened exactly? I'm trying to remember what game that she could have gotten a concussion in, or I mean, once again, I would love to have full transparency out of the WNBA. I mean, seriously.
Now shift to Kelsey Mitchell, because her decision is a masterclass in calculated risk. Overseas leagues like Turkey, China, and Russia offer massive paychecks, sometimes 7 figures for elite players. But with that money comes brutal schedules, long flights, and minimal concern for player health. Mitchell experienced that grind firsthand in China before a broken finger cut her run short. And here's the kicker. The Fever handed her a core contract this year, plus a $20,000 time-off bonus that caps her offseason play at 90 days. Overseas, that doesn't work. But Unrivaled? A neat, compact season starting in January and wrapping by March. Perfect fit. On paper, it's smart. Mitchell keeps her body fresh, stays visible in the U.S., and avoids the wear and tear of international ball.
Mitchell will be joining Unrivaled for the first time, staying stateside after multiple years playing overseas. She played in China for a portion of last season, but didn't return after she broke her finger and returned to Indianapolis to sign her core contract with the Fever in January of 2025. Even with the broken finger this Fever season, Mitchell had one of her best years of her career, MVP finalist, averaging 20.2 points a game, 3.4 assists, starting every game on the team.
Because while Fever fans are praying Lexie Hull's back holds up, they're also watching Mitchell commit her energy to a competing basketball league just 3 months from now. Think about that for a second. Indiana is locked in a war with the Las Vegas Aces, the defending champs, in front of a home crowd that's desperate to see the Fever finally break through. Hull is hobbled. Damiris Dantas is still out in concussion protocol. The margin for error is razor thin, and yet one of their biggest stars is already making off-season plans that some people feel could divide her focus, or worse, drain her body before next year even starts. And then there's the league politics. Remember, Unrivaled wasn't just built for fun. It was co-founded by Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart, 2 WNBPA vice presidents who were deep in collective bargaining talks. Translation: this is a power move, a players first, WNBA alternative kind of move. And now Mitchell's name is attached to it. That sends a signal to fans, to teammates, and especially to the front office that just locked her up with a core contract. So here's the tension. Is Mitchell's decision visionary or selfish? Is Hull's injury a freak scare or proof that players need more rest, not more off-season runs? The contradictions are impossible to ignore. And with social media already buzzing, this isn't just about 2 Fever players anymore. It's about the entire ecosystem of women's basketball and whether the WNBA can really control its own stars.
That has been ravaged with injuries. Mitchell is slated to be an unrestricted free agent following the 2025 season, but she is also eligible to be cored again. The Fever gave her a $20,000 time-off bonus, which limits her playing time in other professional leagues to 90 days or fewer.
Kelsey Mitchell stepping into 3x3 basketball isn't just a random off-season gig. It's almost tailor-made for her game. Think about what makes Mitchell dangerous. Lightning-quick first step, deadly pull-up jumper, the ability to create space when none exists. In 5-on-5, defenses can load up on her, throw traps, and force the ball out of her hands. But in 3x3, the floor opens up. No weak side help, no time to recover. It's just you, the ball, and your defender. Mitchell in that setting is a nightmare. Every possession is magnified. Every Every bucket feels like a dagger, and a scorer like her can dominate in ways we haven't even fully seen in the WNBA. It's no wonder people are already saying she's built for this.
Both Mitchell and Hull have ample 3x3 experience, as they were part of the player pool for the 2024 Paris Olympics. So there's that. Catcher Season 2 on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max.
That's why even a probable back injury feels like a red flag.
Together, these stories expose the two diverging paths Fever players face. Mitchell is a star calculating how to maximize her prime without burning out overseas. Hull is a grinder trying to stay healthy enough to keep proving she belongs in the conversation. And that's the reality of the WNBA. Same team, same jersey, but two very different battles being fought at the same time. Step back for a second, and you'll see this isn't just about one team's injury report or one player's offseason plans. What we're watching with Lexie Hull and Kelsey Mitchell is a snapshot of the bigger war happening in women's basketball right now. On one side, you've got the brutal reality of the WNBA grind. Small rosters, jam-packed schedules, and a postseason where even role players like Hull matter more than ever. The league is still fighting for mainstream respect, and every healthy body on the floor counts. That's why a back scare for Hull feels like more than just a day-to-day issue. It highlights how thin the margins are, how fragile the balance of a season can be. On the other side, you've got Mitchell's move, choosing Unrivaled over overseas ball. And that decision represents a seismic cultural shift. For decades, overseas leagues were the lifeline for WNBA stars. That's where the real money was. That's how players survived financially. But Unrivaled is changing the script. Now stars like Mitchell can stay home, stay visible, and keep control of their bodies without subjecting themselves to 10 months of wear and tear. And here's the cultural tension. Does that strengthen the WNBA brand or weaken it? Some argue Unrivaled keeps fans engaged during the offseason, boosting interest in women's hoops overall. Others say it risks splitting attention, draining energy from the W, and putting players in harm's way when they should be resting. Either way, Mitchell's decision forces the conversation. If the WNBA can't pay its stars enough to keep them from chasing other leagues, or if it can't guarantee their health and security, then alternatives like Unrivaled will only grow stronger. And the Fever? They're caught right in the middle of that cultural crossroads. So here we are, two Fever players, two headlines, and one massive spotlight.
When Kelsey Mitchell, an MVP finalist, one of the most electric scorers in the league, chooses that platform over the money and prestige of overseas ball, that's a shift in power. That's a shot across the bow. And the message is clear. The days of players needing to risk their health overseas just to pay the bills, they might be numbered. But here's the question Fever fans have to ask. What does this mean for Indiana? Will Hull's health hold up? Will Mitchell's off-season grind keep her sharp or wear her down before next season even starts? The truth is, nobody knows. And that uncertainty is what makes this moment so fascinating. The WNBA is evolving right before our eyes. Stars are flexing their power. Fans are demanding transparency. And the balance between loyalty, health, and money has never been more fragile. So buckle up, because whether you love it or hate it, the story of Lexie Hull's injury and Kelsey Mitchell's shock move to Unrivaled isn't just about one team. It's about the future of women's basketball. If you want the unfiltered truth on the W, you're in the right place. Drop your takes in the comments, smash that like button, and hit subscribe, because trust me, this ride, it's just getting started.